5S benefits. What are the benefits of 5S? You are trying to become world class. Cleanliness is the topmost on their agenda. A great place to work. 1S on the very first day. You won't believe truckloads of unnecessary goods which were sorted out and items were removed from the which the CEO of the company also could not believe, because there were machines which were not used for the last 5 years, but they were there and the management was not there aware of it. In some cases there were inventories which are lying, which were useless inventories. In some cases we found that the employees had hidden rejected material and it was lying stocked somewhere, which nobody was aware, particularly in a large organization. Secondly, the space that you will create when unnecessary things will go, at least 30 to 40% space you will generate, which was earlier not there. Okay. The Indian government started Swachh Bharat Andolan, Swachhata, cleanliness. The cleanliness drive, which has actually been started by the government, has been, I would say, it's a very unprecedented. No government in the world has ever thought of starting this kind of a concept. The implementation part, although the effect has come, some cities have really become very beautiful. For example, Indore is named as the most clean city. And it has been a collective effort of all the agencies and the people who are involved in this. But it could have been, if it was done in Japan, how they would have done it. It would have been a totally different implementation strategy. Like we do Kaizen in the organizations, on similar lines at macro level, this can be done as a major Kaizen exercise, where we in Kaizen we have one tool which is called 5S. This 5S is one of the best tools, that brings in a different kind of a culture within the organizations, and I always use 5S as one of the tools whenever I begin introducing Kaizen in the organizations. And in that what we do is promotion is one aspect, planning and promotion is one aspect, but implementation is one of the strongest part of it. So if you want to successfully bring in this concept to the success, then the implementation has to be done at the grassroots level. That means planning has to be done a kind of a micro plan. Each and every district or a country or a city has to be divided into various zones, various micro zones, and then the owners have to be nominated for these zones. So each zone, each particular micro area which has been identified, it must be headed by somebody. So it can be a team of citizens, team of RWAs, team of the agency officials, and then they together make a plan, micro plan, and then they try to implement. Of course, it has to be incentivized. The owners or the stakeholders have to be given incentives. So if they do well, and of course that will be done by an audit team which will audit whether you are done well or not. So there is a separate audit team which will do the work of audit. That's what happens. Similarly, on these lines we have a 5S concept where we talk of 5 elements. In fact, people call it 6S. So 6S is safety. So 1S, 2S, 3S, 4S and 5S. 1S, if I tell in Japanese language, then this is Seiri, Seito, Seiso, Seiketsu and Shitsuke. So in English language, when we say, we basically in 1S, which is Seiri, we basically try to sort out. Okay, whatever is not required, you pick up one area. You can do it in your house also, you can do it in your factory also, you can do it in your establishment, whatever you are doing. So in Seiri, you basically sort out the necessary and unnecessary things. So whatever is unnecessary, you take it out. If you want to Seiri your mind, for example, if you want to Seiri your brain, so whatever unnecessary thoughts are there, they must be taken out. So it becomes, a kind of a brain with only necessary thoughts. Now you see the Kaizen, see the improvement. Particularly in the shop floors, we see a lot of unnecessary things. In the stores we see a lot of unnecessary things, a lot of inventories, etc., which are there, whether they are tools or old machines or even old materials, consumables, etc., which have been, it's a habit that I call it a beggar's approach, where we try to keep things, we keep them piling in our whatever place we are in. That's our habit. So that's what we have to get rid of. And indirectly, this also brings, our passive nature. It converts our passive nature into an active nature. 2S is Seiton, where we try to, bring things, all necessary things, they must be placed in order. Okay, orderliness is what we call. Like you must have seen, the greatest example is the jewelry shop. Or if you go to a pawn shop, you'll find everything he knows, where is what, right? All necessary things are there. In military establishment, you find amazing amount of Seiri and Seiton being done on regular basis. So it is a search-free and count-free system that we try to create. In 5 S's, I always say, one of the S is simplicity, simple things. How to make complex things simple? We make things complicated. So simple, sweet, smile, simple, straightforward, self-centeredness, remove it. These are also 5 S's on executives' minds, which also we try to show them that 5 S's have different values also. And one of the very important part of 5S is soul consciousness. That means you try to get out of your body and try to think much bigger. Okay, you try to detach yourself and see things from a different perspective. When you talk about 5S to Japanese experts, they talk very it's a very, very straightforward definition. But when we talk in India, we elaborate it much more simply, and we actually extend the meaning of 5S to different aspects of our personalities, and what all applications it can actually, and what all wonders it can do, what magic it can do. So 1S, 2S and 3S is cleanliness. Okay, so neat and clean. Okay, we call it clinically clean gembas or shop floors. So it actually is related to the character of the organization. Okay, so 5S looks very simple. I can simply say 1S, 2S, 3S, 4S, 5S, but actually it is not that simple. Okay, so you are talking about cleanliness, clinically clean. You are yourself clean, your gemba is clean, your table is clean, your office is clean, your computers are clean, dust free, no dust at all, and they should be shining. In fact, some people call it Seiso as a shining thing. So it should not be clean, it should look shining. Look at your car, look at your motorcycle, look at your two-wheeler, whatever you have, and you find it dirty. I think 90 out of 100 people, you will find when they are driving, they don't care whether their car is dirty or not, clean or not. But there are 10 people who will keep it neat and clean all the time. Okay, and look at your shoes. There are some people who are very conscious that my shoes must be always clean, but there are some people who are not bothered. Now what do I say? So it reflects, it gives me an answer what kind of a person I'm dealing with. Okay, so Seiri, Seiton, Seiso, and these are the 3 activities actually. 1S, 2S, 3S are the activities which you have to actually perform, and it cannot be done in one day. It takes time. So normally I used to say, come on, let's do 5S. So we shut the plant one day and then do complete 5S. And 1S and 2S exercise itself takes almost a day, and we involve the top management also in that. And Seiso means jharu maro, clean the whole thing, and cleaning with the top people. In Swastha Abhiyan, this was another thing. When you are cleaning with a meaning, that means you are inspecting also and cleaning. And cleaning doesn't mean only jharu. Cleaning means you can bring all the best equipment, vacuum cleaners, this, that and all that. And you should actually clean it. So it is not cleaning for the purposes of showing off that I am there. the MD of the company or the GM of the company, he must be actually involved throughout. He is not supposed to be inaugurating and candle lighting and then starting the exercise for 10 minutes and then vanishing and then say, okay, you have learned it, now you do it. No, that's not the case. So for doing all this, there is a lot of training required, there is a lot of moral boosting required, there is a lot of motivation required of people, because it's a company-wide exercise, it's a country-wide exercise. So motivation, you have to involve I don't know why the school kids were not involved, why college kids were not involved in our Swasthya Abhiyan. Millions of them are there, and they are very easy to, condition. They are very easy to, mold themselves into what they want. I own it. I own it means what? I own it means that I am responsible for everything, every aspect. So I run it, I clean it, I maintain it, and I inspect it, I audit it. That's ownership. And I take the responsibility, not that I operate and somebody else maintains, not that I sit there, somebody else cleans.